No, we'll definitely do it. I'll do it after. You kind of give the
Okay.
the entrance thing is like, oh, we'll do Mega Man 1.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Are you any good at Mega Man 1, Ray?
I am as equally good at all of them as I am Mega Man 1. Does that help?
That's a good answer. I've watched some of your challenge replays.
So I will
I know what I'm in.
I will stay away from Gutsman, just because I don't want to do that first side, and Elecman because I don't have the rolling cutter right now. So we'll just go to Bombman.
That's where I start.
I usually start with Bombman as well. But I don't know if it comes through on the stream quite as well, but being able to play this on like an HD TV, and it's something I didn't really appreciate till like in preparation for the game. I would like go back and I still have my NES and my carts, and I'd put them on the TV, and I'm like, being able to actually see this game up and running, it's like, oh wow, this clarity that I didn't really know I was missing until I saw it.
Yeah, part of the porting tech that these guys at Digital Eclipse are doing allows the game to be displayed, even though it's still 8-bit. It's still 8-bit, but it's outputting an HD resolution, so everything is much more crisp. I mean, the outline on Mega Man is crystal clear, and it hasn't been that crystal clear on the previous compilations that we've done.
Yeah, a lot of that is just because it's HD. Period. You know. But I mean, the way this is being drawn, it's 4K ready. If we ever want to patch it up.
Oh, why did I go down there? I don't know why I went down there.
That's actually a hard jump to stay up there because he shoots you off.
Yeah, I was watching someone out there, and I watched a couple of journalists play, and they're familiar with Mega Man. This is nothing new to them, but you really have to get into the mode of playing Mega Man. You can't you can't take a modern, even if you grew up playing Mega Man before. If you've been playing anything recent, super recent for the past few weeks or so, you have to kind of reset, and it's like, oh, I'm going to play Mega Man.
Yeah, there's a philosophy to it of like, you need to take each challenge as it comes.
Yep.
And even though it is like over time became known as Jump and Shoot Man, you can't just run, jump, and shoot. Like there's a lot of like pause, wait, and then as the more you play, the more you learn the levels, then you can do the confident hold right and stride unbroken.
And that was kind of like a thing I had to tell a couple of journalists. Like on Cutman, like they see those loopy guys, those first couple of guys that you encounter, and like, oh, I'm just going to run past all these guys. And all of a sudden they have a screen full of 6 of them, and they're getting bogged down. I was like, yeah, you really can't do that unless you're familiar with what you're doing. It's part of the learning curve of the old Mega Man games, and a lot of NES games, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like the design of these old games is very puzzly. Like this is a mini puzzle right here.
Yeah.
Like how do you get past this guy? And what I love about the sort of speedrunning community embracing Mega Man, is that it's become, how do you solve these puzzles back to back as quick as you can?
Yeah. Spikes, one hit kill.
Yeah, you are in Mega Man 1.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how everything looks super, super crisp, and I don't think we've actually really shown this yet, but we do have something that we have in here. So we'll go through some of the visual options. We do have wide mode, but for aesthetic purposes, and we will leave that alone.
I'll get very angry if you do that.
So wide is there if you like. It does exactly what you expect it to do, but to be completely honest, the game doesn't look that great in it.
Yeah, and you had spoken as to like some of it is like the game is not designed like to have stuff like existing outside.
Oh, for like why are we not drawing?
Yeah. Like once you start drawing all that, it's like this is now a different thing.
Well,
like,
it's. I mean, it easily breaks the game.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a horizontal section and the timing's so dependent on when you hit certain points.
Well, especially too with the enemy spawning, and you want to make them respawn on purpose or make them go away.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically at that point, it's like we're hardcore rewriting. The game to
which
make
is
it work,
definitely
which is not the goal of this.
Yeah.
So these are the borders. The borders would be decorated with, in this case, Mega Man 1 art. If you're playing a different Mega Man, it would change to Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of.
I've actually not seen this yet.
People do ask for that. One of the cool things that we have though is these filters, and we'll go for first. We'll show the monitor. As you can expect, it scan lines. This emulates if you were playing on a RGB monitor through an emulator or such. The scan lines are there, but everything is pretty clear. But what I like to play, and to be completely honest, I love this old TV mode. Everything's got that burn-in quality to it that I really like. So it's kind of the same thing, but kind of turned up, and I don't know how well this is coming through on the stream.
Yeah, the stream it's hard to really see, but in person it really does remind me of like being in a Pizza Hut in like 1988.
Yeah.
And like
on a screen that's had some times on it.
yeah, somebody fix this Play Choice 10 machine, please, God.
Let me through here. Aha.
So yeah, like some of the philosophy behind doing that is, I always felt like Mega Man was a very artistically driven game.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the art is a really big part of it.
Especially for how early in the 8-bit cycle it was,
Oh,
like
gosh,
it's really
yeah.
ahead of its time.
Like, I mean, you compare this to any other game in '87, it's just it's light years ahead. But a big reason for making sure we included this mode was because we felt that a lot of the art was drawn with the limitations of an old TV in mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry.
So like, as much as we like that really sharp, ultra, high def pixel look now, there is sort of an argument that maybe the games weren't, drawn to look that way.
Right.
To begin with. So we wanted to make sure people had the option to display the way they like it.
So I'm putting it back. There's a couple of requests to put it back. I think it would look better on the stream anyway.
Oh yeah. So,
definitely for the stream.
hard. It's really hard because you guys are getting a downscaled image on the stream. But if you're actually displaying, this game natively on a 1080p display, it does look right. I promise. We spent so much time on that.
Let's move on to a different game, just to show you that they're also there. So we can go over some more of the features. We have this really cool database right here. As you expect, it's a database of when you go to Mega Man 1 and you go to the Mega Man 1 database. These are all the enemies that you fight in Mega Man 1. This text actually is pretty cool. It's a translation of the text that was available in the PS1 version of the Rockman Complete Works. We had them localized, and so they're here in English. So it's kind of the first time Capcom has officially released this within the game.
There's that little sprite there next to the HP attack, and there's a little.
So that's the weakness. So it's weak to the Buster,
nice.
and I don't know what that shot that there.
Like man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The icon is just.
I don't know what this is though. This one.
Pellet.
That's just Mega Buster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one be adhering Susie would be weak to Elecman's weapon. So what's really cool is, say, I want to play against. Let's see.
Man, I've got beef with the
Iceman.
copy robot, by the way.
So say here I wanted to play against Iceman, or I wanted to fight. Say IC is weak against Elecman's weapon, but I don't want to play the whole game. You could do a kind of a practice fight here. If you hit A, would actually be X. We're playing on PS4. That's kind of something we need to fix. But
And now you're fighting Iceman.
and then you jump right in here. You're fighting Iceman. It's like, oh, how can I learn what I just found out, or use what I just learned? Like, I'll pick Elecman's thing, and I won't use the cheat just because. But you
It
could.
only takes 3 hits.
Yeah, he's a.
You could literally do the pause cheat, and bam.
Yeah.
And this is great for people who are like, maybe they haven't played Mega Man since like the late 80s or 90s, or they never did, and you're like, you get to a boss and you're frustrated because you're like, I get to Elecman and he kills me too fast.
Yeah.
And then I got to play through the whole level and get to him again just to die again. It's a great way to practice the bosses and then go do it for
Someone
real.
asked me to scroll back to Pepe. Is that Mega Man 1?
Yes.
Did I pass him up? There you go.
Pepe.
Yeah, there you go. A bird-like robot with.
It's nothing to be afraid of.
I love this text.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we're able to do this.
Yeah.
This also lets us get into it's more in the Mega Man 5 range than 6, but when you get into some of the robots of like a robot pelican that has robot fish in its mouth that seem to exist only to be in the robot pelican's mouth.
Yeah.
Like it's just things like that is like really shining a spotlight on some of the weird stuff.
Well, I looked at some of the database stuff, and it talks about how some of these guys were from carnivals, and it's like before they went bonkers, this is their purpose. So it's a pretty cool backstory. And then also we have here is the museum. So this museum for Mega Man 1. We basically
HD images loading, man.
Yeah.
It takes a
minute because they're high res.
These are huge images of Mega. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There.
There we go. That's the box art actually. It's great.
And if you just leave it alone, the menu will go away. So we have a bunch of production art.
A lot of
production art.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. If someone wants to see something in particular, just let me know. But I'm just going to kind of run through this so you can kind of see what we have.
But
character
here's where we get into some of the cool stuff.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. Like it says character files. These are also would be placed in our licensing guide. So if someone back in 80s or 90s was like, hey, I would like to make a Mega Man toy. We would send this file so they would get the right colors and the right height and dimensions. So
Does this say swatch?
make a
Yeah, those are the swatch values.
correct
yeah.
correct Mega Man. So
Pantone values or something like that.
something like that. So we have all of these as well as some concept art, which are really cool.
Actually, a little behind-the-scenes fact: we did use those values from the Mega Man file for the menu you're on right now.
Oh yeah.
So we made sure to get the licensing accurate color.
So I don't think so. There's actually some of these sketches are like not final. So it's really cool if you're really familiar with.
Yeah, like the supercutter.
Yeah.
Had a tail at one point.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Look at all that. You can see every.
See the pencil.
Look at the fibers of the paper.
Oh yeah, that's pretty great.
Freaking amazing. But yeah, that's a pretty
That's
cool.
my favorite picture right there.
Someone asked me to.
Can you
want-
zoom in on his crotch?
I
We did that.
I already did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a roll action figure. Get the model kit. The model kit's great.
Yeah. It's like a little some sprites. Kind of see how they're drawn out. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and actually before going to Mega Man 2, we might as well kind of go over the rest of the features that we put in the game. So we have a
Actually,
music player.
Yeah.
These are.
This is pretty great.
So
yeah.
is this the one that's actually playing the emulated like the music?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so what's pretty cool. So if you go to the Mega Man soundtrack, and so this is one like when you play it, it's actually playing the game. But
Yeah.
This is kind of a cool little feature. So when you play, you want to hear Bubman stage.
And of course you do.
Yeah.
You do.
You can barely kind of hear it. So this isn't just like an MP3 playing or even a WAV file playing. This is actually the game loads up and you don't see anything, but it's the behind the scenes somewhere.
It's like
Bubba Man stage is playing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
listen to the music. So it's
Yeah, it's basically we trigger, that part of the game, but we just cut out everything except the music. So
Yeah.
that's all you hear.
so that's kind of a cool little. It doesn't really have.
Can you do like a playlist style where it
percent.
finishes a track and goes to the next, or?
Not right now,
Oh man! Oh man!
but hopefully.
We'll see. It's definitely. There's a lot of things that we could do with the soundtrack. It's like where does it all stop?
Yeah. It's definitely a point where someone asking Skybane actually in the chat. Hi, asking about the L and R swapping to do the weapons, which gets back into we're now altering that core game, and that's not something that was in there to begin with. So
Right. So yeah, there's the philosophy and then also the technical reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that going into the project is like we want to, besides the conceit of the display looking, crisp in HD, and we wanted to keep everything as original as you possibly could. That's why you see a lot of the sprite flicker, a lot of the slowdown, and I know like there's some kind of opinion on whether that's good or bad for the product, but either way, the idea was to keep it original. And also there's a technical limitation that the way Digital Eclipse is in the same vein that they're able to keep everything authentic, we also kind of have to keep those things in there, and,
Yeah.
and we're kind of limited that way. So it's kind of two things: it's philosophical and technical, that everything is going to remain the same. So to get back to it, there's no L&R weapon switch in the NES game, so we can't do that here. I know you could do that in like the Anniversary Collection, but incidentally, I had actually worked in those games. Those were developed a totally different way, and they had a different output. It's not the same. I mean, the results may look similar, but the games are, I don't want to say totally different. It's kind of hyperbole, but they're developed very different ways.
no.
Kind of long story short. All right. Also going into the last feature here that I will do the one that I'm pretty sure I can get through, which is the Mega Man 1 through 6 mashup. But through development, we were discussing ways of taking the original games and keeping everything authentic, but then kind of mixing them up in a way that kind of presented a new challenge or presented the content in a new way. And we were inspired by the NES Remix games, which basically took in-game situations and then presented them to the player as a challenge. So we took that kind of idea, and basically when you go into one of these mashups or these challenges, you'll be presented with basically 6 slices of the game and kind of in a level, in an order, in a way that we designed them, and it's a time attack. It's like, how fast can you get through it? So I'm going to go through Mega Man 1 through 6 just because I know I can do it, and these guys can talk about it. So I'm going to restart because I got it.
So as you can see, we drop you in just somewhere in one of the games, and it's just go. Oh, good. You do know to do that. You don't know the one where you can go up in the upper left and warp.
I saw one of the QA guys do that, so
Okay.
I know it's there, but
Good old Big Eye,
but
man.
I did it. So here, like we got
What?
this key.
What?
What, huh?
What? You're in a different game.
I'm in Mega Man
Oh,
2.
you should turn the borders on.
I should. Oh yeah. We'll put that on. So
Oh,
you can
because we'll
see
get
how-
the
They'll change.
You
Yeah.
haven't seen them change.
Yeah, I haven't seen him change.
Frank worked very hard on that, and I'm not lying.
That's true.
2 is my favorite number. That's not true.
Check that out. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, you see that? So that black bar, you know what? We haven't made a decision on that yet. So that black bar that's on the left, that's in the original game.
Right.
They intentionally don't draw that stripe.
Is it to
And-
get around the flicker thing that would happen? Like,
Yeah, I think it has something to do with sprite limitations or something. I'm not exactly sure. But we haven't decided if the border should cover that up or not. And it's not in all 6 games, so the
Right.
borders would have to change shape.
Yeah.
You know, these are the kinds of questions
Right.
you start having to ask when you do a project like this.
oh,
Nice.
oh, the
Nice.
birds.
Easter egg, Easter egg.
Oh, slide under it.
I know.
Oh, come on.
No.
I'll be quiet. I do love this stage, though.
Churchman?
The chicken robots, shooting smaller chicken robots. It's the best. Man, there we go.
You were pretty good at this one.
I did this one a lot because it's like I can do this one. It doesn't start off on Gutsman. So does anyone know about that star field that's replaced with Pepe's?
Oh, yeah, you hold the button on Mega Man 2's select screen.
Yeah, that is an NES thing. So we
I
also
see you're using auto fire.
yeah. So we did. So it was like, oh, that's not authentic, but people did have the NES advantage. They
Yep.
had their
Turbo
own,
controllers, yeah.
turbo
Yep.
controllers. So it's like we can do it. So we'll give that to you, Ken.
Ugh. One more.
I don't like that he's behind the star field. I fixed that literally last night in my hotel room.
So then, so I finish it. There will be leaderboards. We can't connect to it because this isn't connected online. But if you would see a bunch of QA times on there, and I could hit X and kind of just jump into my own replay. The leaderboards will support replays as well. So what is it? What did we decide? The top? How many have the replays attached to it?
How many of the challenges?
On the
Or how many?
leaderboards. Like,
We'll have 100 replays per challenge.
okay, so
that
the
you can
top
access.
100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Yep.
be able to watch the replay, see how they got through it. Yeah, so we expect and we hope that given the share function and the replays that are available with this, that this will be a really big hit with the speedrunners of taking these levels that they're super familiar with and kind of mixing them up and kind of getting through them all in a very it's new and new and familiar.
Yeah.
So it kind of hits both vibes there.
So here's this may be a technical question, but it's kind of those interesting things. Like, so are the new modes like starting off at a certain part of the stage, like in challenge mode, implemented by modifying code, or do the games run in a new engine when that's happening, or kind
the challenge mode?
Yeah.
We did not alter anything. That's all things that were running on top of the original games.
I'd try the Yellow Devil.
You did?
Oh,
Yeah, you did.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
I could do it if I do the start cheat.
So when you start here, that's a save point that I've created.
Right.
Right. So there's no modification of code necessary for that. Those portals, those were very difficult to implement, but we got them working. It's we're drawing that portal on top of the game, but also within the game space, so it's the same resolution and
I see.
everything. And
Yeah.
what we're doing is tracking. We can track where Mega Man's head is in the game, and we kind of know like when his head touches that portal. So like when you touch a portal, it takes you to the next save point.
Yeah, so like, so
But-
even though like you see Brett here playing against Yellow Devil, so that's kind of happening on one layer, and then kind of think of the game engine itself
Yeah.
that the game is operating within is kind of above it. So that portal is drawn like over the game. So
Well,
it's-
actually, the text here on the bottom right is drawn in the exact same way the portal is. So
Okay.
we draw it in NES resolution within the NES game space, but it's sort of running
Yeah.
at the same time as the original code's running in the background.
kind of over it's like kind of on an above layer,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to speak. It's maybe not technically that way, but it's kind of giving it. So there's two things going on here. You have the NES game, and then the actual engine, the what do we call it?
The Eclipse engine.
The
yeah.
Eclipse engine.
Yeah, it had a different name when we first talked about it. but changed it.
Oh man, that one's gonna get me.
I can't really see the stream. Is there anything on there that you wanted to answer?
Ah, I was still looking at the.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I can tilt the
Yeah,
monitor. It's a delicate scenario.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I just wanted.
How did you determine where to start each challenge? Asks. Adam Amazing. Hey, Adam. Basically, we went through every single game, and I have every floor and room sort of mapped out and saved, and I don't know, maybe someday we could stream me making one.
Oh,
it's actually pretty funny to be able to tab through each level. But the challenges were based on, I didn't want people to get confused as to where they're supposed to go, and I didn't want to redraw the levels either.
Right. Yeah.
So I start them where there's only one clear direction to go in a level, and I try to end them in a way where it's difficult, if not impossible, to go past the exit. So where I start you is based on, first of all, not being able to go backwards, but second, just if it's a cool part of a stage is kind of the secondary factor. But, luckily the level design in these games is so good that job is very easy.
So it's Parasite Bro's question. He's getting antsy because we're not answering his question. Sorry, we're talking and these are going by. So you're asking, are there any remixes in any mode, like the anniversary?
Oh, you're talking about the music?
Yeah, I think there's a music question before.
Complete Works.
Man, now I'm trying to look at the
soundtrack
chat at the same time. I gotta stop.
So can you clarify, Parasite? Are you talking about the music remixes? Is the time you
there we go.
paused
Right.
included in the timer? If you pause in game, no, that does not. The timer.
No, if
still
you pause
goes.
in game, the timer keeps going.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
say
yeah,
no. That's
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if you pause in that, you bring up our options menu, that does pause the timer.
Yeah.
But if you pause in the game, the timer keeps going.
All right, so yeah, Parasite never reiterated his question. So
There's a little lag on the chat, so it
Yeah.
might take
Okay.
a second to get back to the.
yeah, so Asian Tev said, are there achievements? Yes, games since last gen require achievements and trophies. So
Yeah.
we will definitely have them. All right, here. So yeah, I was talking about the remix muses because I noticed the menu's music was a remix. Okay, so you're talking about the Complete Works soundtrack. In game, no. We were looking into that. I'll be completely honest, but right now, it looks like that's not something we're going to support in game.
It's just because we built these in a different way
Yeah.
than they did, because we were more focused on accuracy. And, it's one of those things where it's theoretically, yeah, it's possible to do that, but we decided against it and sort of focused on other features. But sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was saying we do. I mean, we obviously do have the soundtracks, and we're using it for the menu, but we may get that into the player. It depends. We'll
Wow,
see.
I've never done that.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
This is the only way to deal with
Oh,
Fire
that's
Man.
good.
He's such a turd otherwise.
So I hope that answered your question, Parasite. Hopefully, I hope that kind of answers your question. I hope it's enough to know that, for you to know that we're aware of that feature, and it's something that we're looking at, hoping to do too.
Get him, blow up. All right.
Is the create your own challenge something that has been talked about? Creating them is, I think we kind of talked about it really quickly about maybe having you just be able to create one.
Really early on. we were
Yeah,
talking
but
about that.
that was something that wasn't just really it wasn't gonna work out for us for timeline reasons and just a bunch of another reasons. So it's something that we did consider, and there are technical reasons and
take
production
one?
reasons why that's just
Sure,
unfortunately
do
just
it.
not gonna happen.
Let's see. Did you do Mega Man 1 Mega Mix yet?
So
no, I didn't do Mega Man.
Uh, we briefly mentioned on Guy's question about the slowdown and sprite flicker. Yes, the sprite flicker and slowdown does remain. I believe there are some instances that were purely hardware related of the slowdown that we were able to remove, but the ones that were programmatically put in, so there is some slowdown that was actually programmed in that the game's is going to slow down. The game actually says slow down now.
Yeah, a lot of people think when NES games slow down, that's hardware limitations. Sometimes it is, but in a lot of cases, that was actually programmed into the games to slow down and flicker so that nothing got lost.
Yeah, it was a compensation for hardware, but it was programmatically put in.
Right,
so.
exactly.
So that particular flicker will remain, and so will or slowdown and flicker will remain. It's part of, for better for worse, it's part of the authentic experience that we are going for.
There is a very slight fix, I should say, to to the flickering, in that we allow a couple more sprites per scan line than
Okay.
the NES did. But again, that was, we didn't do any fixes that altered the code of the game. You know what I mean? Like we just basically kind of buffed up the way we would approach the hardware a little bit.
So I read on certain forums, and a lot of folks are like, oh well, this should just be an option, and yeah, you should take it out. And it's kind of goes. We touched upon before. It's both philosophical and technical. The system that allows Digital Eclipse to accurately recreate the NES games themselves also kind of limits what we're able to do, and that kind of programmatically stuff that's in the game is something that, without drastically altering what we're doing, is not within the scope of what we're doing.
So someone was asking about the colors. I could field that one if you want to.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, a lot of emulators do.
This guy knows a lot about all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of emulators do display different colors than this. That's because, and this gets technical in a way that's a little bit above my head, but I sort of understand. The NES does spit out what you'd call an RGB value, but when displayed on a television, it would not literally look like that RGB value. There'd be a sort of color pass on it. So we developed like an NTSC color filter that we overlay on top of the game. So like way underneath where you can't see, we are pushing those weird magenta colors and stuff. But when we threw this NTSC color pass on it, we actually sort of restore the colors back to what they would have displayed like on a TV at the time. So these actually look, the way they were meant to.
That's the idea. I mean, there's a lot of work has gone into that. So, I think if Digital Eclipse has done their job, which I think they've done exceptionally well,
thank you.
It's going to be
about
as authentic as we're going to be able to get.
Someone's mentioning the NES RGB mod. We do have one in the office hooked to a FrameMeister to make sure we're comparing this appropriately. We know our stuff.
So Joseph mentioned, no more license to Nintendo Dexton the Mega Man 2 ROM. Well, it's not a ROM, but it's not
kind of technically, but
well,
not by that definition.
But rebuilt in for the Eclipse engine. Yeah, well, we got to take this stuff out because this is a PlayStation game. You can't say it's licensed by Nintendo in a PlayStation game. So there are things like that we can modify.
Yep.
Because we have to.
We've kind of got into this before, but there's an easily answered question: is like why, even though it's that 8-bit look, what was the reasoning in not doing 9 and 10? Mm-hmm. And it's basically that's not the era that this collection is really targeting because again going into the Digital Eclipse like preservation idea.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of misconception that this is the Mega Man Legacy Collection. This isn't meant to be an all-encompassing Mega Man collection to have all of them. I mean, if that was the point of the game or the collection, we'd definitely do it. This is an 8-bit, authentic 8-bit Mega Man collection. So it's obviously 1 through 6 are the games that are released in the NES, and those are the games that the tech that Digital Eclipse developed is working with. So that's what we're working on now.
I think a lot of people might think that 9 and 10 were developed for the NES because it looks so authentic.
But no, definitely not.
Those were built from scratch.
Yeah, I've always loved on this screen Quickman's V breaking the barrier of his box.
I've never really noticed that.
There was a note in one of the Megamix comics, the Ariga stuff, mentioning how I think this was like a subtle nod that Quickman was kind of meant as a rival, like more of a direct antagonist.
Yeah.
And he's got so that's why he has this little special bonus of he breaks out of the box, which is such a cool small thing. But as a kid, Quickman was my favorite because I don't know. He has a little bit of the Kamen Rider thing going on too with the
V. So some stream commenters are asking, so does this mean basically are we going to do other collections? We're not promising anything now, but
wow,
man.
Whoa. You need to go right.
Skin of your teeth, metal teeth.
Oh, I'm so used to the challenge.
So,
yeah, I was like,
be there.
yeah.
So long story short, we haven't announced any like X Collection or possibly something with the rest of the games. This particular title does focus on our NES Mega Man titles, and we will go from there. I hate to say buy it and we'll see more, but that inevitably ends up being the case.
I will say we are in a capitalist society, so I don't know what else to tell you.
Can I say please?
I mean, I honestly, I really understand it. I really hate saying that, but that's really kind of when I as a producer kind of do a new game, it's how's it gonna do well? It's like we have to use data that we have gotten from other titles. That's kind of our basis for it.
Yep.
But I will not use the word test. I hate that word.
Yeah. We're not ignoring the release date question. It's just like we said, summer, and then 3DS in the fall or the winter.
Yeah.
So those are the release dates. There's no hard date yet, but summer is not far away.
I meant to go the other way.
Right.
I don't have it memorized.
I guess if you're watching and you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, which is in like a month.
Comic-Con's like in 2 weeks or something.
Oh, yeah, it is. I forgot. It moved up, and E3
man.
moved down, and this moved up. Yeah, if you're at San Diego, I believe you'll be able to get a handle on this at the show. So if you're going to be at San Diego, you'll be able to play for yourself. Yeah, summer does actually start in mere days, I know, but it goes all the way through August and into the early September. So
that's why we like to say summer, because it's
Yeah.
a large encompassing area of time there.
I saw an interesting looking question scroll by earlier about TVs.
Oh, like what TV was your TV of choice? By
Yeah,
Ad
well,
Amazing.
What monitors and televisions was Capcom using at the time? Is it known? Yeah, so I can answer this in a
All right.
in a sort of interesting
Yes,
way.
please take it away from me.
Which is we did sort of go to that level of detail in that trying to make decisions on artistic intent. We're talking about like scan lines earlier.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
What pixels are supposed to look like.
Right.
We don't know what TVs the artists used at the time
Right.
to display them, but I do know what at least one monitor owned by Capcom at the time looked like.
Really?
Because there's really clear screenshots in the Rockman 3 manual.
Oh.
So I kind of scanned the Rockman 3 manual that I had and sort of went into detail, and the colors are slightly tuned
Huh.
based on a photo that we have of,
That's pretty
of
cool.
a TV owned by Capcom Japan in 1993
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
or 91 or whatever. You picked the right guys for this, right?
Yeah. it's not just through sheer talent and engineering. They are huge nerds for Mega Man. This is no joke. If you thought Brett was a huge nerd, we have Frank.
There's another level. I appreciate it on as a kid, like for me it was all about like the Robot Masters were what did it for me. And I don't know why, but I think I've gone into it on some of our Unity podcasts and stuff, but it's like I always liked the idea of, at the time, a lot of the games bosses were like slightly bigger than your character or made out to be, this is some mythical monster or some other kind of like, whether it's like a dragon or Gleeok in Zelda or Mummy in Castlevania. But Mega Man, it was always like, you're Mega Man and this is another something man.
Yeah.
And he's basically the same size. He's basically kind of the same capabilities. So you have this cool action platformer that always culminated in this like almost one-on-one fight. Well, it was a one-on-one fight, but it just felt different and like really like they're on the same level as you. And I thought that was really cool. Having a bunch of
they're kind of like your brothers too.
Yeah, and there was like
Can
I
you
don't
scroll
know.
up there? There was a question
I thought that was
there
really
that someone was asking that has been kind of gone away that I'm trying to get to.
No one?
Yes. Are you using the FC box art? Do you include the FC screens and/or NA box art manual art?
Oh, so on the menu we're using the Famicom box
Okay.
art. Yeah, and he's asking, do we include? I'm not sure what you mean by the Famicom screens. Oh, the title screens,
Oh, okay.
right?
Right.
And and or the North American box.
So the game as you see it is how we're doing it. We're doing it right now. The box art. I forget if we have like the actual art in the gallery.
Some of it.
Some of the art is in the gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I couldn't track it all down, the original art.
Yeah. So the actual like on the box and how you see it is how we're presenting it within the game. So we're using the Japanese or the Famicom art as the selectable.
It's great art.
The selectable art. So sorry, I don't know how many times you asked that, but
yeah, sorry about that.
I can barely see the stream.
But the title screens are the American versions.
The American versions, yes.
Man, as a kid, I also love doing this little toe tap.
Any
man,
plans
it's so
DLC
good.
for Mega Man 7 through 10? So again, that's this particular title is focused squarely on the NES one. The tech that we're using to get this the authentic look is for the NES versions of the game. So 7 through 10 are not currently on the boat. Maybe later on down the line when we start focusing on other consoles, other Origin consoles, we can do something. But I think at that point we would make DLC. It would just kind of be
DQ. I'm out of the game.
Pickle Man.
Yeah, the Pickle Man.
So can you show the scan line?
Oh yeah, let's.
Bing's the
monitor.
Magic Cat would like to see. Yeah. So this is the monitor one. Again, it emulates playing on RGB monitor. There is the TV one, which is cool, but I think that's going to show up.
It makes the stream look. I don't know.
I'll tell you in person if you have any nostalgia.
It's a cool effect.
If you have any nostalgia to playing on an old burned out TV, because that was the best thing you could have in your room, a little 13-incher. This is very like you would recognize this and you would kind of get that like really nostalgic feeling towards it. So so Turian X9 is saying button lag at all. That's actually a very good thing to bring up. You would really have to play it to see how it feels for you.
Yeah.
There is going to be a little bit of lag, and it really depends on your monitor. We had a setup out here that felt really, really laggy, and then we had to turn on, I guess, the game mode on it. So,
yeah, a lot of the button lag that you're going to experience might come down to your TV settings.
Yeah, a lot of it's going to be the monitor, and contemporary gaming on HD resolutions. Just has button lag. It's inherent with it. It goes away once you're playing it, but I suggest to make sure that if when you're to really minimize that is just have a TV that maybe has a game mode. So it's like 7 and 8 are good though.
I love 7, man.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting little factoid about button lag, which is that the original games have 1 frame of button lag programmed into them.
Aha.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do.
It all becomes like what you're really used to, and whether your TV introduces a huge amount of lag or a small amount of lag, you'll get used to it, and it's just unfortunately it's just how modern gaming is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, button remapping, yes, is in.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw
button
so if you wanted to play with,
we just added a new button
with shoulder
last
buttons.
week, which was MM1 pause.
Oh yeah.
So I saw that.
Yeah. Wow, nice.
I saw that. So, but it only works for Mega Man 1 because that's the one.
Right, because it's the only one that had the
an actual pause.
Oh, here's a question that's for you. Any interesting finds you guys discovered while digging through the game's source code?
I found some. I don't think you mind me saying this. Some placeholder icons in the anniversary source.
Oh, yeah?
Where it was just like kind of cute MS Paint looking drawings.
Oh, a lot of games have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, not really. There's some sort of interesting unused stuff if you poke around. Like there's an unused animation cycle from Dr. Light in the first one, where it looks like he's pointing and talking. I don't know if you've ever seen that. What else? There's some unused enemies in I think 4, but I don't think there's any like program data for them. It's just pixel art. Gosh, what else? If you guys have ever seen some really early shots of 3, there used to be in the background of Gemini Man's stage, there was a planet that looked like Saturn. It was really big.
Yeah.
It looked really weird. Those tiles are still in the code. But other than that, no, it's pretty clean. What we got?
So for a tile, for if you're not.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. A tile, you can think of it as like a kind of a piece of a sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so the tiles together, you would combine them to create a larger image.
There's no way the stages ever look blue, even in Japanese monitors at Capcom's HQ. I disagree with you.
The brick part of it, or the sky?
I think the sky. No, the sky was blue. It's a blue sky.
Is he asking why is it so blue? Is it because it's different, or just kind of in general? Why was the sky made blue?
Well, the atmosphere you see is once sun hits.
Well, why is everything so blue? I think was that a design choice? Those particular things I wouldn't know. If we did, it would be anecdotal because. Where we're basically just trying to reproduce what was originally done.
I think.
Oh, be nice.
I think a lot of people are.
You got the hard jump, the big jump.
I think a lot of people are just used to seeing these games on emulators. When you see screenshots online, a lot of them are taken from emulators, which have colors that weren't actually the way the games looked at the time.
Right.
So here, Vilk or V-Elk or whatever he's saying is clarifying. So the green bricks they're supposed to be green rather than blue. So we had just had a discussion about colors. So maybe you were seeing them as green on whatever you were playing as, or I think these ones are.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so.
Or maybe it's just how they're coming out in the stream. I don't know what's the.
Yeah, I mean they are kind of greenish, these bricks.
Yeah.
Let me explain this another way. We didn't go in and tweak every color, right? We didn't choose what color should look like what. What we did was we fed in the actual RGB color values that the NES was spitting out into this NTSC color filter that we put on top of it. So it's not that we're taking each individual color and tuning it. It's that we're tuning the I think the hue and the tone of the entire picture until it looks to our eyes like an accurate representation of a TV of that time.
So I think maybe if you're seeing a disconnect within the color that's in your mind, and that I think that possibly that was just maybe your TV was a little off when you used to play it on or such. Because I mean, we put a lot of effort into making sure that what's displaying in a numeric value is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a factor of the monitor or something, or how the stream is going. But when it's on your TV, the code coming out of the game is supposed to be authentic. So I hope that.
Ray, you've been to our office. How many CRT TVs do we have?
There's CRTs, old school computers that I don't know that have no place being in a modern game company.
There's a Commodore PET on Mike's desk right now.
Yeah. So there
all
was
the
a
way
question:
down.
what is the most sadistic challenge to come out of challenge mode? I have not seen it yet, but there is going to be a challenge that is nothing but disappearing bricks.
Yep.
And
Yep.
or reappearing bricks. Sorry, but yeah.
Wow.
That is that I think
they're called appearing blocks. Is that right?
Appearing blocks, reappearing blocks, whatever they're actually called.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a challenge full of nothing but that.
Yep.
Fun
that
that sounds.
So it's going to be maybe not even this one, because this one's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, I just if you jump wrong, you'll get
spit out the side.
You get bopped.
Yeah.
It's fine though.
So that's the most sadistic one, I would say.
Someone asking about handling leaderboards. Obviously, we want to monitor them and the challenge mode stuff. There's always going to be people abusing leaderboards. That's always going to happen. But it'll be the input replays should hopefully be able to show at least what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
How they got that score. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, if someone gets a crazy, time, you can be able to verify that through the replay itself and watch how they did it. I don't know. I guess these days, how do cheaters do it? Don't they just do they? I don't know how.
Well, I know how they do it.
The way I used to do it is old, and people don't do it anymore.
I think another game. Excuse me.
The magnet beam.
There was
You all right?
Excited about color values.
Are the MM3 cheats still going to work? No comment. The controller 2 cheats, you know those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want people to try that stuff when it comes out. I don't want to answer that question. Although maybe I just did.
I think my voice just kind of went out. All right,
You all right?
I'm back.
Okay.
I thought my voice was going out on day one. That's terrible.
Any
yeah.
save functionality, Brett?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, if you wanted to make a save, you're saved.
There you go. So now I'm going to take one step and load game.
Yeah.
Now I'm back here.
Yeah. So I worked on DuckTales, and there was a lot of people who really didn't like that there was no saves.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like a compromise. You can save, but you only have one save slot.
Right. No creeping. Well, I
Yeah,
guess in
no
a way
creeping.
you can, but
You can, but it's only one. Like
right.
if you lose that save slot, override it, it's gone. So you can't have a bunch everywhere. That was just something that, because it's technically capable in what keeping in the actual way that we're developing the game, it's technically capable. It's actually a very easy thing to do. That what we had left in the game. I was really kind of considering, no, we shouldn't have any at all or such. But from working on DuckTales, I know that's just like one thing that people are going to get so angry about, that you can't have saves everywhere, or especially when the checkpoints can be so unforgiving in some of the earlier ones. So if you're like me, just don't use it.
yeah, I don't plan on using it, but it's nice that it's there.
Yeah.
Some people will really like it.
Get
'em!
Hotkeys for save stating. I guess maybe you're talking about maybe on the console or the
like
PC
remapping
version?
buttons to save and load, I think. That's an interesting idea.
I mean, you could. It's
We don't have that in there
it's
right now.
compliant as long as you have the correct messaging. I think that would be kind of risky though. People are gonna accidentally overwrite save states a lot easier, quicker.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
No, I don't know. You know, how many games really have saving mapped to a game controller thing? They don't.
I don't like it for this.
I don't like it.
collection,
I don't like
'cause-
it. It's. I mean, it's not
And,
a bad.
and I
it's not-
say that as
Man,
someone
we're actually
who
having
has
a meeting
actually
right here
done
on
that. Yeah.
Like you guys are seeing it live, like how this happens.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, it's very common in
Ugh.
the PC thing. You know, it's not. But for console, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about that. Like, I can't think of any game that has save attached to a button, and you know, I'm not exactly a designer, so you know, maybe there's some kind of drawback to that I'm not really thinking about. So.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of accidental button presses.
Oh yeah.
There might be a compliance thing with like messaging. Like, are you sure you want to save?
Yeah, as long as that messaging is there. So achievements and trophies will be in. They're mandatory. Every game has to have them since the middle of last gen. So.
Oh, you're not going to use your magnet.
Is there a platinum
No,
trophy? Is there a platinum trophy?
I think so.
Maybe we can say if there's going to. If there's going
Yeah.
to be.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. We'll
I
get one.
forget how it is, but you know, you can only have so many total trophy points, and I know in previous games it was kind of prohibitive to have a platinum trophy because then that would take all the amount of points you're allotted. So.
What would the platinum trophy be? What would be the best one?
I don't know. What can you track?
I mean, isn't the platinum just getting all the others?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Is that okay?
All right. I was gonna do it legit. Now I'm just over it.
Can you guys explain how you remove interlacing if Eclipse is running on top of the original code?
Remove interlacing. What do you mean?
Game tapes. It doesn't look like a filter. Are they? Oh, are they? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, are you talking about like on? Sorry, what was the last one called? Anniversary Collection?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like in Anniversary Collection how it looked a little bit blurry because it was running in 480 interlace? Is that what you mean when you say interlace?
Oh.
Is there going to be the things to help you like in the original collection? No, there are no things to help you.
Like
There's
Navi
no
mode and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. We did not do Navi mode.
No.
Get him. Oh.
Navi mode
Nope.
was silly.
The game's really-
I'm just gonna say it right now.
It's. I get what they were. I mean, I worked on an anniversary collection.
But come on, sometimes it was like, go right, don't go down into the pit.
There's only so many things you could do, and it's like, hey, let's what kind of pointer could we do here? But,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't need to.
but no, this collection really is, you know, aside from some conceits like the visuals and maybe the save, trying to really be as authentic as we can.
Okay, so I can answer this question now that Game Tapes is clarified. So the original, Game Tapes just said the original code doesn't output progressive scan. The original code does in fact output progressive scan. It outputs 240 progressive, 240p. And what we're doing, we're scaling up the 240p 4x, so it's 4x square perfect pixels.
Yeah.
And then we stretch that a little bit to be a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So it was the NES was not ever interlaced. Anniversary Collection was, but I think that kind of had to do with the limitation of the hardware at the time, possibly, or that was a decision made. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So it was always progressive scan, and it continues to be here.
Well, if you think that the AC collection looked ugly because of it, you'll be glad to know that we won't have that problem.
Yep, we got sharp pixels.
Yep. Solid, easy one. Question about price: $14.99.
Yeah.
Yep.
And someone was asking about the warp trick going. Maybe they don't know what that is. Yes, I do. And to be honest, I haven't tested it, but it should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Do we know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
I don't know how to do it.
Guys might have tried.
Yeah,
It is a speedrun.
I know of it and appreciate it, but yeah, I can't pull it off.
Oh, and just so I see people have asking about it, and sorry, I didn't mean to avoid. People are asking about the 3DS SKU.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that right now. Just we haven't released any information, so I'm not ignoring you. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that more when
Yep.
when you get to that point in time. And you do know it's releasing later, so
Yeah.
more information will be coming.
There is one.
There is a 3DS SKU.
It exists.
Yes. $15 is too low priced. I'd pay $25 if it had remixed music.
Oh, we should probably change it then.
Okay. All right. So we'll increase
Can
the
you
price.
log into the?
So
Yeah.
15 will go to whoever you're buying it through, and then you have a separate account that goes to my bank account. I'll take that for $10.
And I'll hum versions of the songs for you. Oh, God.
Will there be a Wii U release? We have not announced a Wii U release, so the currently announced. I'm sorry, I think it's kind of worded weirdly, but the current announced consoles are PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the 3DS. Wii U right now is not included as one of the things that we're releasing for.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's just go.
Let's see. Very Tyrion X9.
Oh, is that the Charge Shot sound bugs? The sound bugs still in there.
No, man, we got some pretty hardcore guys that know their.
And I've got some
stuff,
hardcore answers.
Got to get
Still
that sound
there.
bug in there.
Stayed
up all night putting that back in.
I don't believe in fixing old bugs. And that might sound like a cop-out answer, but it's not. Like
I tell you, if this guy could do it, he would do it. It's just,
yeah. I mean, it's not that we can't.
I mean, it's more like if.
Yeah.
It's not a cop. Say he's not a cop-out answer. Like he's pretty intentional about it.
I mean, a lot of our intention with this, and I'm sure you'd agree with this, Ray, is that we kind of felt like a lot of these old titles weren't given the same amount of respect that like a Blu-ray release of a movie might get.
Right.
And I think if we want to bring games to that level that the movies are at, where
Are you at Wiley already?
Oh,
yeah,
Nice.
sure is. There's only 6 stages in one.
That's why I love playing through 1 the most, because it's like quick. You'll get there.
I just feel like to get to that point where wait, do we still have that bug? Oh, we do. I'm sorry. We saw a bug.
Oh, is that the layer? Is that a layer?
Yeah,
issue?
it was a sprite priority issue, and that will be fixed. He appeared to be outside of his thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think a lot of getting games to the point where they're treated with the same respect as other mediums is to just kind of take the good and the bad of the originals, and if there were bugs, embrace them. You know?
Yeah.
Like you don't go back and you do if you're Lucas, you go back and re-edit your
Can we add some
films and
dewbacks to the
erase
back of this?
history,
Like-
but you know, I don't think it's my place to alter these games. Like I have such an admiration and respect for them that, you know, I don't think it's right to make decisions like that. So we decided against it.
Is that what you have to do in this section?
Yeah.
I've never gotten this far in Mega Man 1.
Those 3 fire pillows to me are like the hardest part of the whole game, where I'm just like to do it like without. Oh man, that's the first time I died. Oh my life. But yeah, something about it, they're all like very like perfect jumps. Oh boy.
Snow Brothers. Was that our game? Was that a Capcom game? Snow
Sure
Brothers?
was. That's a very rare game for
So
the Nintendo. It's
so
very expensive.
and this is all super
Really?
hypothetical, but
Man, there we go.
so this is an NES or focuses on the 8-bit games, and the tech focuses on the NES.
My life.
Like we've
man.
discussed every kind of
Yep.
other game you can ever think of, and you know, for obvious reasons, we decided to go with Mega Man first. So let's. I think if as we suspect the demand for 8-bit authentic gameplay and the preservation that we'd like to see is
Oh,
really
this
there.
jump is the worst.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think I've ever done that before. I
Man,
think
that
I
thing-
always freeze them all from.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
it's
we could
freeze
probably-
them or
we can
yeah.
get on and do any kind of other game that we would want to do next. I personally want to make it a series.
Oh yeah,
It's not a
this,
promise.
Personally, want to do what?
Make it a series.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a color. It's not a promise. It's an official thing, so don't take it as that. It's
Right.
my own personal like, hey,
Yeah.
what would I like to
But
see?
that's all of our hopes, right?
yeah, and I mean this is like, I mean we're all in the same boat. Like this is the era where I fell in love with games, and it's an area that I feel just as strongly about, that it should be archived and preserved, and this is doing just that and making it such that if this game needs to be referenced 20 years from now,
Yeah.
like the work has been done.
Yeah, and that's really the a lot of the philosophy behind what Digital Eclipse is doing is that they create this version of the game, Mega Man, for Xbox One and PS4. I hate saying without saying that, but sorry, I digress. Sorry, I sound like a marketing guy for Xbox One and PS4. For the Xbox One and the PS4.
Computer entertainment system?
Rated E.
Is that in the future after this, they moved the Digital Eclipse
boy.
engine to a new console,
Jeez.
and this game, this version will be playable on that new console. So
Yeah.
they'll just in the future we'll just port the engine, and we won't need to port the games anymore.
Yeah, basically we're doing a ton of work up front to just make sure that next time around.
All right,
it's really
my
easy.
life is over.
So someone was asking, how about a mode with random stages from the 6 games? Do we have anything like that?
Oh, there's the challenge mode. Yeah,
we
the
have-
walk drop in MM1 is like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, he's heavy in this one.
That's why I like 1 so much, because like 2 really started setting a like, here's a precedent that we're really going to follow and stick to, this 8 things, 4 widely levels, and everything kind of like took a spin on that. But 1 is this like great, like, I don't know, like Mad Max to Road Warrior thing, where it's like
Yeah.
you can see the beginnings of all of it, and it's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's why I loved 1 so much. It was also like renting that as a kid, and just, again, like before there was a 2, it was already this kind of special, unique thing. And then 2 came out and my mind exploded. Like partially because of those Nintendo Power covers with the little clay figurine, and
Yeah.
Oh, those are
it's on the
awesome.
jet sled. Like that is too good.
I first heard about 2 on it was some kids game show. I don't even remember which one it was, but
Starcade.
No, it wasn't Starcade. It was like it was on Nickelodeon or something. But like one of the prizes they gave a kid was the new Mega Man 2. And it's
Double
like,
Dare?
There's a 2? It might have been Double Dare. I have no idea.
There's
And-
also
and
back-
I think you could name every show possible, and I still wouldn't remember. All I really remember is like the announcer saying Mega Man 2.
It's also back in the day when like a sequel to a game was like, there's a 2, and it was
make
like
2s?
like there were so few games on NES.
Yeah.
Even then, it was
I
like
missed it.
if something got a 2, it was like, well, it must be a big deal if there's a second one.
So someone was asking earlier, kind of an inside baseball-y thing about who I work for, because there was some confusion early on as the developer of this game. So Other Ocean is the parent company of Digital Eclipse, which is what I work for.
Yep. We can actually wrap up since it's getting 2 o'clock.
Oh.
We've all got schedules to keep, so I don't know if you guys got things to go to. And
I gotta eat.
I am getting into that low calorie like starvation mode.
The jitters.
But we'll be streaming this again tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 p.m. We should all 3 be back.
I got a really good push notification from the E3 app. Be a part of the E3 buzz.
Buzz.
All right.
It's the
I guess I'm doing
E3B. All right, we'll come back on camera. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks both of you guys for joining and helping
Yeah.
answer all these questions in the chat that I would just blink and nod at, and it's kind of
Having
like,
me.
I know. I gotta admit, I'm probably like the least Mega Man nerdy guy here, but you know, I'm just. I gotta say, you know,
How long have you been at Capcom? Come on.
15 years this year. I worked on the original Anniversary Collection. That was like one of the first games I released.
Are we seriously getting requests for Rockboard right now?
Rockboard, let's do it. I'm ready to spend that money. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hopping in the chat with us and asking questions. I know we can't answer all of them or get to all of them, and then some of the answers are vague, but that's the way it goes.
Sorry.
But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. The stream will continue in 1 hour, 3 p.m. Pacific. We'll be back with Resident Evil 0, and then after that, at 4 Pacific is...
Spectra?
Yeah, it's our key art there. We'll have it's DMC4 SE with the director Itsuno-san will actually be here to talk about it. So if you have questions for the director of DMC4 and 3, hop back at 4 o'clock Pacific. We'll be back. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.
All right.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna get those things fixed.
Okay, cool. That's great. I would like to do Rockboard.
And then finally, please remake Dino Crisis.
You always get the